going for the win. Remember back when they was doubting on the kid. Now they tuned in cause my game too legit.
There's a lot of you don't know about the fantasy headlines. Nation. Headline nation. Fantasy headlines for the nation. I'm a headliner. I'm a headliner.
Yo. Analytics off the chain. All the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. Y'all stuck on third down. Your content's plain Jane. Headliners on top now. We gonna move and change. Podcast off the rip. Draft guide, so legit. Fantasy world, our game tight. You know we about that Chubb life. Stuck in a rut and you need some motivation. Head to the channel for this Headliner Nation.
I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Hopefully everybody is doing well out there today. Having a good day, playoff day, Saturday. Woo! I don't know. I mean, I can't think of a better way to spend a weekend than with playoff football. Ben, becoming a member for the 4th month. If T-Law gets his first playoff win on my B-Day, I am becoming a Jags fan. Heard it here first. Let's go, Headliner Nation. Love the channel and the community. So much fun. The gaming and the breaks, too. Ben, love you, baby. Thanks so much for being here and helping to support the channel. What's up, Ray, James, Spicy, Unicorn, Ty, Paul, Timmy. What's going on, everybody? Patrick. Woo! So what we are going to do with this stream, it's going to be a little bit different than other streams that we've done before. I'm going to talk like a little bit of playoff matchup, things like that. Litnick, we both know that you're lying. Carlos, what's up? We are going to do things a little bit different today. What's up, Kendall? How do I customize this bracket? I have to sign in? Huh. How do I make... I have to log in with Twitter? All right, I'll do it. Just because. Ray becoming a member for the 17th month. Been here a minute, but not 20 months. LOL, it's playoffs, baby. Hey, Ray. Hey, 1 minute as a member is better than 0 minutes as a member. NFL teams. Let's do NFL playoffs. We're going to talk NFL playoff predictions. Why? What the heck is this? Why is it so big? Do they not have just like a playoff ones? Oh, here we go. Nope, this is not correct either. The hell is going on? Don't they have a playoff one? NFL playoff bracket. All right, here we go. Let's talk about. Hold on a second, let me move this. Let's just do some playoff predictions to get things started. Let's do some playoff predictions to get things started here. I have to do a window capture. I am trying to make it a little bit bigger for everybody to see. Hold on. Uno momento. Uno momento. We're going to do this. We're going to talk about some prize picks as well today. All right, here. Here we go. Let's talk about who's going to win the NFL playoffs. What do you guys think? Obviously, I've been doing some breakdowns on these videos. But let's go through the official swag-rich bracket of the 2023 NFL playoffs. Obviously, the Eagles get a bye. They move on, right? Kansas City, they moved on as well. They both get byes. First game up today is Seattle and San Francisco, correct? Let me just double check. I believe they're first up. Yep, they are. Seattle and San Francisco. First up today. You've already heard, if you've watched the matchup videos this week, you already kind of know what we're looking at. I tell you what, man. It's San Francisco easy, right? It's San Francisco easy. San Francisco is rolling right now. Seattle kind of had to back into the playoffs a little bit. Needed some help from my Detroit Lions. I can't see San Francisco at home losing this game. I just can't. I can't see it. I think they walk away with a victory here, and I think I don't know if it's easy. I do think Seattle will play well. I do think Seattle will play well, but I don't see them having enough to beat San Francisco. I just don't. The Chargers in Jacksonville will come up after that. Now, here's the thing. When I did my prediction earlier in the week, I had the Chargers winning this game. And I think rightfully so. I think they deserved it. Okay? But since then we found out that Mike Williams has a lower back fracture. Does that change our thought process? Because unless the Chargers make it to the Super Bowl, the Jaguars, unless the Chargers make it to the Super Bowl, Mike Williams isn't going to play. So are the Jaguars going to walk away with a victory without having Mike Williams? I think the good news is that they still have a decent amount of weapons. Austin Eckler, Gerald Everett, Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer. My concern is that Jacksonville just didn't seem like they showed up last week against a Tennessee team that, let's face it, has sucked for several straight weeks. It was coming off a game in which they rested all their starters. And then they didn't look good. So the question is, what quarterback in this matchup do you think gets the job done? Is it Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert? I think for me, it comes down to the head coaches. Brandon Staley, Doug Peterson. Who does enough to get the job done? Head coach-wise, it's Jacksonville. It's Jacksonville. Quarterback-wise, I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to give it to Justin Herbert right now. Barely, I'm going to give it to Justin Herbert. Weapons-wise, I think you still have to go with the Los Angeles Chargers. Even with Mike Williams missing, I'm going to give them just a little bit of a bump. Monty, I agree with you. Brandon Staley's an idiot. But with all that being said, if I had to change my opinion on one game, it would probably be this game, and I'm going to go with the Jaguars to move on now. I think not having Mike Williams and his ability to play big down the field could be a little bit of a detriment. And I don't love Brandon Staley as a head coach. I don't. I think he gets too in his head. Brian is absolutely right, and we'll talk about this again with the Prize Picks when we get into that here in a few minutes. But with Prize Picks, you know, I like the over on Travis Etienne today. And I think that's what the difference comes down to. The Chargers, even though Austin Eckler has been great and scored a ton, the Chargers on the ground have not been very good this year. They haven't been able to move the football. They haven't been able to really have great running games. Travis Etienne going up against the Chargers, who give up so many points or so many yards on the ground to opposing running backs. I believe it was second most in the league. Is that correct? If I remember correctly. Second most in the league. Yep, second most rush yards to running backs. They give up 127.2 rushing yards on the ground. And then now we get Travis Etienne, who has absolutely blown up this season. I'll take the run game. I'll take Travis Etienne. I will take the Jags. I think Brandon Staley screws it up, and not having Mike Williams was kind of a big swing for me. I'm going to go back to Jacksonville. Here. For the Sunday matchups, first up, Miami and Buffalo. I mean, I'm not even going to spend time on this one. Jamie, no, I took the over on Travis Etienne. I still have my notes right here. Travis Etienne over 75.5 rush yards. We're going to go to Prize Picks in a couple of minutes to get an update on where some of those lines stand. When I did the video, over 75.5 rush yards, the Chargers allow the second most running yards to running backs. 127.2 per game. And originally I had it as a close game. Los Angeles Chargers 17, Jacksonville 14. But I'm going to go ahead and switch that up. I have a right to change my opinion. I'm changing it to Jacksonville. The Bills are going to beat Miami. They just have Miami limping into the playoffs. They don't have Tua. The Bills are on a mission trying to get back to a matchup potentially with the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year, the Chiefs getting that win, that heartbreaking win over the Bills, right? The Bills are fighting, and I think you have to add in a little bit the DeMar Hamlin storyline here, okay? I'm not trying to weaponize what this man has gone through, but this team, this city, really the entire country for quite some time rallied around this young man, and I think the Bills are just on a mission for him and this team right now. I'm going to go with the Bills over Miami easy. This one isn't really that close for me. The afternoon game, 4:30. This one is also a close one. The New York Giants and the Minnesota Vikings. Who walks out of this one? This one is a close one. Yes, I'm a Lions fan, and I'm a Lions fan. If you are a Vikings fan out there, you're going to hear me say this, and you're going to say, hey, stop it right now, Kyle. they're going to say that I'm being biased in my fandom here. I think the Minnesota Vikings are one of the most fraudulent playoff teams that I've seen in quite some time. Are they a good team? Yes, I think they are a good team. I don't think that they were a division winning team. Far too many times this season, they lucked out. Far too many times this season, they got absolutely hammered, only to come back and barely win. But they're at home. But they are at home. And they have the best player on the field in Justin Jefferson. Neary, you are correct. Their defense is trash, and that is scary. If the New York Giants had some wide receivers that were just as scary. Now, Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, Richie James, don't get me wrong, they were good to end the season. But are they really going to go pound for pound with Justin Jefferson, TJ Hockenson, and Adam Thielen? Let's be honest for a second. Let's just be honest here for a second. Yes, the Vikings offense or defense is trash. Yes, the Giants defense has looked a little bit more healthy over the final weeks here. But can the trio of Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins, and Darius Slayton go pound for pound with Adam Thielen, TJ Hockenson, and Justin Jefferson at home? At home? I don't think so. I'm going to take the Vikings in this one. I understand why the Giants are a popular pick to upset the Vikings. And if they were to upset them, I would not be surprised at all. But I am taking the Vikings to win this game. I don't think Adam Thielen is washed. I don't think he's washed. I definitely think he is not the player that he was 2-3 seasons ago, but he can still get it done. He is a good target number 3 on this team behind TJ Hockenson and behind Justin Jefferson. He's not a wide receiver 1, but he can be a wide receiver 2 and the third target behind those two guys. Give me the Vikings to win this football game. I think they pull it out. I think it ends up being a back and forth battle. I think Vikings fans have some palpitations in their chest watching this game. In the comment section of some of these videos, I saw people saying that Saquon Barkley was the best player on the field. I saw some people saying that Justin Jefferson was overrated. I'm going to need those people to just think about life for a second and how ridiculously stupid those comments are. Justin Jefferson is absolutely the best player on the field, and he is the best wide receiver in football at this current moment. Give me the Vikings at home. Give me the Vikings at home over the New York Giants. Sorry, Giants fans. Next game up, Baltimore and Cincinnati. I mean, I don't think Baltimore even comes close to sniffing Cincinnati without Lamar Jackson. I just don't. Their offense isn't good enough to keep up with Baltimore at this point, I think. He's not. I'm going with the Bengals at home. They want this win. They want to get back there. They want that rematch with the Bills, or not the rematch. But they want that matchup with the Bills. I am taking Cincinnati to win this game. I just don't think the offense can keep up with Cincinnati. There's just no way it happens. No way it happens. The Monday Night Football matchup, the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady 7-0 against the Cowboys. They won the division. They get a home playoff game despite having a record under 500. Going up against the Dallas Cowboys, they were in it until the last week of the season to potentially walk away. And everybody hit that like button for me. If you're watching right now, just smack that like button real quick. It's easy to do. The Cowboys were so close to that division win, to a number 1 seed. Philadelphia stuttered down the line. And now we've got a road playoff game for Dallas. Tom Brady's never lost to them. Now, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're out there feeling like, I think we can do it. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're rooting for the Cowboys. If you're a fan of any other team in the NFL, you're laughing at the Cowboys, right? Because that's just how it is. This new Cowboys era that we've seen since the big boys back in the 90s, they don't get it done, right? They don't get it done. They don't get it done. The go at home playoff time, the offense has looked way better the last couple of weeks. Can the GOAT get it done? Man. Ladies and gentlemen, give me the Dallas Cowboys to win this game this week. I just have a feeling. I have a feeling Dak is going to show up, and Dak is going to take care of the football. They're going to use their run game to try and battle against Tampa Bay. That defense is going to be the game changer for me, though, because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you believe in him, but I'm a Dan Quinn believer. If you're a Cowboys fan out there, type it in the chat. We believe in Dan Quinn, because I do too. I think he's one of the best defensive minds in football. Maybe he's not the head coach that some of these other people are, and he's going to get another shot. But he is as good of a defensive mind in the game as there is. He's as good as a mind as there is in the NFL. Give me the Dallas Cowboys to win this game, to make Tom Brady uncomfortable, to get a late game turnover to win this game. And I'm going to say something right now. For those of you that might think I'm out of my mind, I have never gone against Tom Brady. I have never rooted against my man from Michigan, Tom Brady. I never have. Blue, I'll get to that in a second. I'll reseed it in a second. You just got to wait. Man. I'm going against Tom Brady for like the first time ever. And I just think Dallas gets it done. It's a gut feeling that defense does something this weekend to get Dallas to the next round of the playoffs. All right. Yes, Blue, you have to reseed it because the lower seed would play the higher seed. So I believe I can just go like this, and I believe I can just go like this, and now we're reseeded. So into the second round. Let's start over on the AFC side. Kansas City and Jacksonville. I'm sorry, Jacksonville. Kansas City is going to move on. Patrick Mahomes, give me the man in Andy Reid to take on Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence. His time will come. Trevor Lawrence's time will come. It will, but not this year. Patrick Mahomes is playing way too well this year. Probably going to win the MVP award. This game will be in Kansas City. I'm going with Kansas City this week. I'm going with Kansas City in the next round. The Bills and the Bengals. The Bills and the Bengals. No, TJ. The Vikings or Dallas is a lower seed. Oh, wait, no, it wouldn't. Because Dallas is a lower seed. Oh, no, you were right. I was right. Why did my bad. No, you were right. I wouldn't change that. My bad. I was thinking, I don't know why I thought for a second that San Francisco was the 1 seed. That's my bad. That's my bad. No, it would stay like this. It would stay like this. I'm sorry, if the New York Giants would have won, it would have reseeded. But anyway, that's my bad. Thanks for shouting that out, TJ. Thanks for correcting me there. Anyway, the Bengals and the Bills. And again, I like the Bengals. But give me the Bills. Give me the Bills. 100% here. They're playing for so much right now. They're playing for so much right now. They're playing for their teammate. They're playing for the city of Buffalo. Give me the Bills to beat the Bengals this year. Having an injury on the offensive line this late of the season for the Bengals, I think, is tough. Kendall, San Francisco might be the best team in the NFL. 100%. The Bills move on to face Kansas City. Now, one thing about this game, too, we need to remember, it's probably going to be a neutral site game. And give me Buffalo fans to show up and treat it like it's a home game. The Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. The good news is that Jalen Hurts is going to get another week to rest up. Hopefully he's feeling a lot better come next week. I think that's going to be big. If Jalen Hurts plays, which I believe he will, and he's feeling good, I think the Eagles win this football game. I think the Eagles go on. Because now you're going to a much more of a dynamic offense facing the Buccaneers and then to the Eagles. The Eagles have a little bit more of a dynamic offense for me. They can do some more things. Obviously, they can run the football. I think at that point, having to go to Philadelphia, that interdivision rival for me, give me the Eagles to show up and win that football game. San Francisco and Minnesota. If I had any concerns about Minnesota over the New York Giants, do you think that I would even for a second think about San Francisco not beating Minnesota? Come on. Come on. I am going with the 49ers here. I'm going with the 49ers here. Absolutely 100%. They're too darn good. The defense is too good. The offense looks good. Debo's back. Purdy looks like an absolute gem. Give me the Niners to win that football game. Let's head back over to Kansas City and Buffalo. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, I already mentioned it. The Buffalo Bills are on a mission right now. They are playing for their teammate, their city. They're playing for too many things. They got absolute, in my opinion, they shouldn't have been bounced the way that they were last year. The overtime rules allowing Kansas City to win because they made the coin flip. Buffalo's going to remember that. Buffalo is just, I don't see them being stopped right now. I'm going with Buffalo over the Chiefs. It's going to be a big scoring game. It's going to be a big scoring game. Over to the right side, San Francisco and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going with San Francisco. It's pretty easy for me. Why is it not moving up? What is going on here? There we go. I'm going with San Francisco over the Eagles. Again, that defense is just way too good. Brian, I think you are absolutely on point. I don't think Brock Purdy is any different than Jimmy Garoppolo. San Francisco and the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. This is going to be a fun heavyweight Super Bowl to watch. Who's going to come out on top? I don't know how many times I've said it in this stream, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills to win a Super Bowl this year. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills to win a Super Bowl this year. I mean, it is what it is. When Damar Hamlin runs out on the field to lead his team out, he won't be playing. But when he leads his team out onto the field, you don't think that they are not going to have that extra motivation? I'm going with the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm going with the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. I love San Francisco. The Bills are playing for some respect right now. Again, that horrible loss to the Chiefs last year, that's been sitting in the back of their head. San Francisco's good. Their defense will show up. They'll run the football. But the question is, at the end of the day, in the Super Bowl, are you going to take Josh Allen or Brock Purdy? Give me Josh Allen to lead his team to victory. The Q becoming a member for 18th month. Bless your predictions, Kyle. Buffalo is ready to take it down. There you have it. There is my Super Bowl predictions. The Bills over the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl to bring it home. There we go. There we go. There we go. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't. And I think that's one, if we get that type of a Super Bowl, I mean, let me tell you what, I think that's a heck of a Super Bowl. I think that is a heck of a Super Bowl. That's going to be fun to watch. Casey becoming a member for 6 months. Need that T-Loss Super Bowl. 1 of 1 to the moon. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into some prize picks, props to watch for this weekend. Let's lock in a few prize picks here to win some money. Let's see what we got. First thing that I want to do is I want to go back over the prize picks that I put in earlier this week in our videos. If any of you watched any of those videos, I want to go back over those props to see how much they've moved and whether or not I would still be buying into them. The first one that I put in there was Kenneth Walker under 56.5 rushing yards. The line has moved to 60.5 rushing yards. So Kenneth Walker right now on Prize Picks, 60.5 rushing yards. San Francisco allows the fewest running yards this season to the running back position at 57.9 rushing yards per game. If San Francisco gets out in front early, there is absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way that Kenneth Walker doesn't. There's absolutely no way Kenneth Walker can get there. There just isn't. So I'm going with Kenneth Walker under 60.5 rushing yards. Trey becoming a member for the 6th month here on YouTube. I got the over on 9.5 kills during your first Warzone game tonight. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. We'll see. I don't know if I'll be on tonight, but we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, you see it there in the chat. Set up a new account on Prize Picks. Use code word headliners, and they will match your deposit up to $100 today. So make sure that you do that. If you haven't played already, I would suggest today you do. I'm going to take the under on the 60.5 rushing yards for Kenneth Walker. The next prop that I had was Travis Etienne over 75.5 rushing yards. That line has still stayed there. The Chargers allow the second most running yards to the running back position, 127.2 per game. I'm still smashing the over on Travis Etienne. Going with Josh Allen over 303.5 passing plus rushing yards. Let's see if that still stands. It is still at 303.5. It is still at 303.5. Miami allows the 5th most passing yards at 250 per game, and they have allowed the 2nd most rushing yards to the quarterback position, allowing just over 30 yards per game. That right there alone, if you just get those two together, that's in the 280 area, and I'm expecting even more from Josh Allen. I'll take the over on the 303 combined passing and rushing yards today. My next one was Daniel Jones over 277.5 passing plus rushing yards. That line still stands at 277.5. Minnesota allows the second most passing yards to quarterbacks with 279-point game. If Daniel Jones even comes close to that, he basically hits the over on passing yards alone. He would hit it on passing yards alone. I'm taking the over of 277.5. This season, a career high in rushing attempts and rushing yards. He averaged just over 244 pass plus rushing yards per game in 2022. I'm taking the over of 277 in this matchup against a defense that has trouble stopping the pass. For touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, Jamar Chase is still listed here at 0.5. I'm taking that. He's had touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 games. He's averaged 13 targets a game over his last 4 games. Give me Justin Jefferson to score a touchdown this week. Rushing plus receiving yards. Tony Pollard was listed at 73.5. 73.5. That's where he's still listed at, is 73.5. Under. I'm taking the under. Tampa Bay only allows 22 receiving yards a game to running backs. The 4th fewest in the league. That's where Tony Pollard would typically make his money, is in the passing game. So I am going to take the under of Tony Pollard at 73.5 total yards today. Let's go. So the ones that I already went through are still looking good. The ones that I already went through, it's still looking good. I'm sticking with some of those still. This is interesting. ESPN.com. NFL officiating under fire after Seahawks gaffes. Adam Schefter writes, NFL officiating is under scrutiny after the Rams-Seahawks game, saying calls helped Seattle win and ultimately knocked Detroit out of the playoffs. One source said the Lions should be livid. It was an awful way for them to end their season. Okay. We already knew it. We already knew that, right? Okay. Let's maybe take a look at a few more props. Let's take a look at some passing yards here. Let's see if anything stands out to us. Skylar Thompson at 171.5. Pardon me, wants to take the under of 171.5. Someone was asking about receiving yards a couple minutes ago. Let's see if I can find the Giants. Are there any Giants listed in here? All right, so they have Saquon Barkley at 22.5 receiving yards. I'd probably take the over on that. In this matchup, I know that, he really hasn't done a whole much in terms of the passing game this year. So he's not as liable to hit that as he had been in years past. Against Indianapolis in Week 17, he had -5 receiving yards. But prior to that, he had 49 against Minnesota, the same Minnesota team that they're playing, and 33 against Washington. I'd probably take the over on Saquon Barkley at 22.5 receiving yards. I'd probably go ahead and do that. In terms of what Minnesota allows, Minnesota allowed 659 receiving yards to running backs this season. Good for 38.5 receiving yards per game. I take that. I take that. I take that. 22.5 for Saquon Barkley. I'm going to take the over on that. He hit that the last time they played Minnesota. Kendall, the 49ers would have dominated the Lions. Oh, man, I don't think it would have been close. I think they would have dominated them. McCaffrey props. I'm taking the over on Barkley there. McCaffrey props. Where's McCaffrey? Is he listed in the receiving yards section? They don't have a... Oh, here he is. 37.5 receiving yards. Going up against going up against Seattle. I'd probably say yes to that as well. Especially if the game is going to be rainy. And let's double check that NFL weather here real quick. Let's double check that NFL weather. Possible light rain. Chances of precipitation 48, 53, 56, 59 during the game. Winds just a little over 10 miles per hour. Possible light rain all day. So it doesn't, it could get a little sloppy, but it doesn't look like it's going to be like nasty. Receiving yards to end the season, 34 in week 18, 72 against the Raiders in week 17. He only had 12 against Washington in week 16. 30, 34, 80, 17, 67, 39, 55, and 24. So going up this season, he hit the over on those receiving yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and he was within a couple of yards just 2 or 3 more times. Receiving yards to the running back position, Seattle this year was pretty darn good. They allowed... Oh, no, they were not. They allowed 726 yards to the receiving yards to the running back position, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th most in the league. Yep, hammer the over there. Hammer the over there. What's up, Briz? Yeah, I'm taking the over there. Rushing yards at 76.5 rushing yards. I'd probably take the over there as well. Seattle allowed 1,943 rushing yards to the running back position this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th most. 7th most. So I'm also going to hit the over on the Christian McCaffrey rushing yards. And if we're taking over 76.5 rushing yards, and we're taking over 37.5 receiving yards, that gives us 114 yards there. The prop for rushing plus receiving yards is 115.5. I probably also take the over there, and then I also take the over on his rushing TDs as well. I mean, all of these realistically, you could end up going over on. I mean, receptions-wise, I mean, yeah, I probably go over there too, man. I mean, you could take the over on basically any of these, I feel like. Justin Herbert, over 279.5. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, if you like these Prize Picks live stream like this, if you want us to do potentially more of this throughout the postseason, number one, you got to hit the like button for me so I know that you actually like it. Number two, let me know in the chat if we want to do these live streams every week to talk about this. Justin Herbert, 25 pass completions, 37 passing attempts, 279.5 passing yards. Going over to the quarterback position. Passing yards. Jacksonville. Where you at, Jax? Jacksonville this season, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, allowed the 6th most passing yards to the quarterback position. They allowed 4,258 passing yards this season in 17 games, which was 250 yards per game. This one's tough for me. No Mike Williams is a big factor here for me. And how many times did he go over 279 yards to end the season? The last time he went over 279 yards was against Tennessee in Week 15. So he was over 279 in Week 15, over 279 in Week 14, and over 279 in Week 13. He was over 300 in all 3 of those games. I don't know if I take the over there. I think that one's tough. Right here. I don't know if I take that over, to be honest. I don't know if I take that over. I think that's too risky of an over. And I think it's too risky of an under. Like, that's a bet right there that I probably don't want to play. That's a bet right there that I probably don't want to play. It's a trap. That's actually a really good way to put it, to be honest with you. Some other ones as well. I mean, I'm interested in the Stephon Diggs and the Gabe Davis overs. The Miami Dolphins allowed 4,000. Nope, hold on a second. That is the wrong section there. They allowed 2,619 receiving yards this season to opposing wide receivers. Jay, for the 49ers game, we just talked about basically all Christian McCaffrey. He's the best plays in those games. To Tua, you know what? I'm surprised as well. They haven't? Well then. Okay. I'm interested in this TJ Hawkinson one here. His props at 47.5. He went over that in 3 of his last 5 games. The New York Giants allowed 86 receptions to the tight end position this year. 10th most. And they allowed 895 receiving yards this year to the tight end position, also 10th most. Is that 895? Am I right? It is. 895. So they allowed 52.6 receiving yards per game to the opposing tight end position. So his prop is under what they've allowed. He's hit this prop in 3 of his last 5 games. And to end the season, if you take out his Week 18 matchup where he only had 1 target, let's throw that out the door. He had 12 targets, 16 targets, 9 targets, 8 targets, 6 targets, 6 targets, 9 targets, 10 targets, 9 targets. His lowest amount of targets were week 12 and 13. He had back-to-back weeks of 6 targets per game. Jeez, 28 targets to end the season over 2 of the last 3 weeks. Oh yeah, Seattle's terrible against tight ends. I probably go with TJ Hawkinson. I probably go with the over on the receiving yards. The receptions, 8 targets. Whew, the 8 targets might be a good one to go over as well because, again, he had 12 in week 17, 16 in week 16, 9 in week 15, 8 in week 14. He hasn't had less than 8 targets in a game since week 13 if you throw out week 18, where he only played 46% of the snaps. He only played 33 snaps. They took him out at halftime. I'd probably go TJ Hawkinson over on the targets as well. Yeah. I think we got to go with that. George Kittle. George Kittle at 40.5 receiving yards. Yes, we're going to take the over there probably. Because the end of the season, George Kittle, not great receiving yards in week 18 or 17, but he had 120 in week 16, and he had 93 in week 15. Also, they don't have him as a touchdown prop. Damn, because I would definitely love to take that. Receptions-wise, they have his receptions set at 4 receptions. He's had 4 receptions in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games. So George Kittle could end up being an easy one as well. They've allowed the Seattle Seahawks have allowed 1,117, is that correct? 1,177 receiving yards to the tight end position this year. That's good for 69. Looking at you, Nick. 69 receiving yards per game. And his prop is at 40.5. Yeah, I'm going to take the over on George Kittle. Whether would it matter for Kittle? I probably am not that worried about it for Kittle because, again, it's supposed to be like a light rain and the wind isn't supposed to be awful, so it's not going to bother the game that much. And Kittle's been smashing with Purdy since Purdy took over. So I go over on the receiving yards. The receptions is probably a little too close for me, so I don't know if I do that. I'd probably go with that one right there. What are other ones? We took the over on Christian McCaffrey. We took the over, what, on the rushing yards. We took the over on... the rushing plus receiving. We took the over on the rushing touchdowns. We're going more. We're going more. I'm just putting these here so you can see them. Those are all good ones. Yeah, no, James, I was just showing all of them. I get that. Yep. Playoff Lenny over 36.5 rushing yards. $36.5 rushing yards. Let's see here. Let's do a little research. Dallas is about middle of the pack. They'd allowed 1,720 rushing yards this season to opposing running backs, it looks like. Let me verify that that's accurate. It is. So we're looking at about 101 yards per game against running backs. Taking a look at Leonard Fournette over his last 5 games. He didn't play, obviously, the final week. 28 and then 72, 44, and 13. Man, I feel like that's a risky one. Just because, yeah, he's hit it a couple of times, but I don't know if I love it in this matchup. I mean, if Dallas gets out to a decent lead, Tom Brady throws the ball 975 times per game. Yeah, I just don't know if I love that, man. I don't know if I love that. That one I'm not super confident on. Gabe, Burrow over 25 completions and over 35 attempts. So his pass attempts is at 36.5 right now. Passing yards, 272.5. Pass completions, 24.5. 36.5 for passing attempts now. My problem is against Baltimore is if they don't run the football a little bit more, if they get out in front. Baltimore's allowed 393 completions this season to opposing quarterbacks. That's 23 a game. But they were really bad at the beginning of the season, and then they got a lot better. So, like, if you take a look at, like, over the last 4 weeks, Baltimore has only allowed 80 completions to opposing quarterbacks. So you're looking at only 20 completions per game. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going with Burrow, man. Yeah, if you take a look at his completions, he's been over 25, 18, 27, 40, and 25. He's been exactly there. If his completions is 24.5. No, I didn't do anything on Madden. So yeah, I don't see it. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about this one. Yeah, he's had it over the last 5 weeks. I'm just worried they get out to a decent lead against Baltimore and they run the football a little bit more. So I'm probably staying away from that one. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up the show for today. A little bit of a quicker show, only doing about an hour to go over these things with you today. Talk about some of our favorite props of the week, answered some of your prop questions for you as well. We did a breakdown at the beginning of everything in terms of the playoff brackets and what we think those will look like. So I think it was a successful live stream today, don't you all? I appreciate everybody tuning in for today. Kickoff is at 4:15, I believe, so enjoy the games. We're going to get something to eat. We're going to hang out. We're going to watch the games here today. Hopefully you all have a great day. Keep in mind, if you appreciated this type of content, this is something we want to start doing a little bit more of. This was kind of a test. I don't want to let too much out there, but this was kind of a test in terms of some things that we might do with live shows moving forward. So hopefully everybody enjoys the game today. If you play any prize picks, gamble responsibly. Hopefully you win a little bit of money today as well. And hey, I'll catch you all next week on another live stream. And then obviously, all the shows that we'll put out next week as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Peace out. Stay safe and healthy. Enjoy the playoffs. And I'll see y'all on the next one later.
When the game on the line, you can't fold and you can't bend.